Super League wins its appeal, but the ARL vows to fight on. Treasurer Costello raises new questions about the sale of Telstra, and an Australian pilot freed from Somalia.
From National 9 News, this is Nightline with Peter Overton.
Good evening. Rugby League's few months of relative calm have been shattered. Rupert Murdoch's Super League today won an appeal in the federal court in Sydney, overturning the ruling earlier this year that banned the breakaway competition from playing until the year 2000. ARL officials are planning to appeal to the High Court, but admit a split competition is now a real possibility. Mark Barlin has our report.
Once again, the federal court was packed. Ken Arthurson and John Quayle making their familiar walk across Phillip Street from league headquarters.
Mark Ferguson for Nightline.
After the break, Palestinian militants call for a new uprising and Iceland's volcanic spectacle. John Avery, the new lawyer for the man charged over the Port Arthur massacre, says he'll be ready for the November trial despite only confirming his role today. Mr Avery appeared at a brief hearing in Hobart and said he was confident that his client, Martin Bryant, would receive a fair trial despite extensive publicity. Martin Bryant, charged with 72 offences, including 35 counts of murder, did not appear today, but there was still a token police presence. Mr Avery says he won't be testing the prosecution's case in a formal pre-trial hearing. If we have to pay taxes, it'd be nice to know how we're paying and for what. Trying to unravel some of the mysteries, business and welfare leaders gathered in Canberra today to look at ways to reform our complicated taxation system.
Brought together by business and welfare groups, the meeting is the most serious attempt to reform Australia's tax system since Bob Hawke's summit in 1985.
Alison Morrow for Nightline.
In a moment, our Friday night sports report. Ramwick the tip in Sydney's rugby union finale, a shocked affection in AFL and a new lap record at Mount Panorama. To sport now, and recapping our lead story, Super League has won its appeal to the full bench of the Federal Court in Sydney. It found ARL loyalty agreements breached the Trade Practices Act. The decision leaving the way open for a Super League competition next year. The ARL is now planning to appeal to the High Court. To rugby union, and two big grand finals tomorrow. In Brisbane, GPS and South clash at Ballymore, while in Sydney, Randwick take on Warringah at the football stadium.
After winning 3 sudden death matches in as many weeks,
Steve Haddon for Nightline.
And still to come on Nightline, the latest finance and the weekend weather. In finance news, the Australian share market closed just over half a point up today. In Tokyo, the Nikkei fell just over 109 points. In London tonight, the FT 100 is 13.5 points down in morning trading. Gold is fetching 380.3 US an ounce. And in European trading tonight, the Australian dollar is buying 78.99 US cents, 1.20 Deutschmarks, 88 yen and 50p. The national weather, and there's a low over Western Australia while a cold front is approaching from the Bight. The forecasts, an overnight storm in Darwin and fine in Brisbane. A late shower in Sydney and Canberra and rain in Melbourne, Hobart and Adelaide. And for Perth, a fine day ahead. And that's the news for this Friday night. To finish, a major exhibition of paintings by Tom Roberts opened today in Adelaide by actor Jack Thompson. Some of the works in the 80-piece collection have not been seen for almost 50 years. The paintings will later tour other capital cities. I'm Peter Overton. Good night.
Nightline was brought to you by National Australia Bank, looking after your bigger picture, and Mazda Astina.